Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast episode number 197. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers. It's Wednesday Motivation Inspiration, and today we're delving into Don't You Dare Get Complacent and Comfortable. Now, I know I came off strong on that, but I'm really going to delve into this today because I see too many people accomplish goals, feel great, and then they get comfortable with where they are. And, the title of this podcast explains itself, but I'm really going to go into detail with what I mean. The biggest thing that happens when some people achieve success is they get complacent and comfortable. They feel high and mighty and don't have to put in the work they used to anymore. And they made it, so there's no point in continuing to work hard at what they do. And the one thing you never want to do is get complacent and comfortable. That's where you lose your passion. That's how you lose your drive. And it's all the things that you had and you take it for granted now. It's what it took for you to get to where you are. And becoming complacent means you don't grow, you don't evolve, you don't improve anymore. Become a shell of what you were, and the dream you achieved dies, and it dies out quickly. And when you're comfortable, you no longer feel like you have to work, that you got the money you wanted, and that's it. You worked your butt off to get the money, and you didn't do it for the other reasons that matter, which are impact, love, passion, and happiness within your soul. And I surely don't want any of you that are working towards something big to get complacent and comfortable when you get there. Continue to evolve, continue to be innovative, continue to take what you're doing to new heights and grow your brand. Because the world is there for the taking. And, when you're starting your journey, you're going to go for it. But when you get to where you want to be, you want to create more goals. You want to create more opportunities. You want to open doors for other people. You want other people to succeed also. I think that's, so important. And it's imperative to, pass the torch to, other people and to, give people, opportunities, to get to where you are and to not forget where you come from and how hard you've worked and all the things that you do. I hear so many times with, athletes, some of the best in the world, and some of them say that, some people who are good, they got to the highest, part of their career, and they don't feel like they have to work as hard to, keep their jobs or anything like that. Perfect example. The NBA is about 400 players and 15 guys per roster. So maybe it's a little bit more than that. It's 450 players in the NBA. So just imagine it's 450 people on 30 teams, 15 guys per team. And you get to the highest part of your career and you get complacent and comfortable. It's like you don't want to work anymore. But your job is replaceable because there's somebody that's younger, faster, and stronger than you that pretty much can come take any person's spot. And I think about this NBA player named Bradley Beal. He plays for the Washington Wizards. A lot of you guys probably aren't even sports people, but just gonna use it as an example. If you do watch sports, you know who he is. He's a 6'5" shooting guard, and he's coming to his own. He's one of the highest paid players in the NBA right now, also. But that's besides the point. He has an AAU team, and he gave this speech, and it was recorded, and it's gone all over the internet from Instagram to Twitter to TikTok, and he said, "You guys all want to make it to the NBA. There's only 450 spots. And I could retire right now and be good for the rest of my life. But the point is that none of you guys on this team can guard me, and none of you guys can come take my spot." Now, when somebody like that says that to you, it opens your eyes, makes you realize, oh my goodness, yeah, it is harder than you think. And to think, a lot of these, let's just use basketball as an example, you know, a lot of these high school players are going to go play Division I basketball, things of that nature, but only 1% of those college basketball players are going to make it to the NBA. There, I think, are 310, think about close to about 300 Division I basketball alone teams, about 300, give or take. Only 1% of them are going to make it to the NBA. There are only 60 spots to get an NBA roster. And out of those 60, let's just say about 15 of them are going to be taken by international players. So now you're down to about 45 spots to get into the NBA. And I watched plenty of players that should be in the NBA right now, and they're not, and they're playing overseas. That's how tough it is to get into the NBA. I watched a player, Kofi Coburn from Illinois, 6'10", 260 pounds, solid big man, great footwork, can score, can rebound, can play defense in the post. And he didn't even get into the NBA. And he was one of the best players in the country last year and one of the best players in his conference. He was top 5 in scoring, top 5 in rebounding, and still didn't get to the NBA. That tells you how hard it is. And this is why I tell you, whatever you choose to do in your career and whatever you choose to do, do not get complacent. Do not get comfortable. For me, my competition is myself. And that's how it should be. Your competition is yourself. Your competition is yourself. Every morning when you brush your teeth, remind yourself that you are your competition. You're not competing against anyone else in your field or whatever you choose to do. It's you. It's you that has to be the one that wants to make it and wants to do it. And you want to do it for your purpose in life, for your passion, and to do well financially, of course, and to have the financial freedom to do whatever you want. But when you get there, continue to think about what's next. And I think that's one thing that I will always have on myself. Like, I'm always thinking of what's next. I'm always thinking of how to be innovative and what content do you guys need to listen to on our podcast, or what needs to be put out, that hasn't been yet. I mean, there's so many motivational speakers. There's so many people giving speeches and talking their life stories. And that's a beautiful thing. But I'm not competing with them. And I'm not competing with all these other podcasts that do arts, entertainments, books, society, and culture. It's not my job. My job is to, speak on experiences that I've been through and ways to push you guys to be great. And that's all I care about. And I'm not putting ads on my podcast, none of that. I don't really care for that either. So it's not my thing. And you guys know that. And I want you guys to know that however long it takes, like I said, when you get there, don't get complacent. Don't get comfortable. Know that there's always someone watching. That's another thing too. People may not support you. People may not say you're doing great, but they're paying attention to you. They're seeing what your next move is. Sometimes you got to keep your next move quiet also. I tend to do that a little bit more these days. So keep that in mind. And with that said, that's my podcast for today. I thank you guys for listening. As always, there will be another podcast later on today. So don't think that this is the only podcast. I am doing 6 podcasts this week. I did promise you guys that, and I'm going to stick to that. And once I finish those 6 for this week, then I'll make my return back in January. So enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Be good, everyone, and go and accomplish your goals.